The Brotherhood Librarian. Now, this guy has got a lot of utility, and you will see this dude in a lot of competitive lists. I will run you through everything that I can think of up the top of my head. See you then. Alrighty, the Brotherhood Librarian. Let's talk about his stats before we do anything else. So he has a movement of 5. He's got weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3+. In the old book, he had a 2+ weapon skill, so that's gone, so keep that in mind. He has a strength and toughness both of 4. He has got 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and a 2+ save, because he's in Terminator armor. He comes standard with a Nemesis warding stave, frag grenades, and crack grenades. That's it. He doesn't have a gun unless you purchase it, okay? So his Nemesis warding stave is melee. It is strength 3, AP -1, and 2 damage. This model's Nemesis warding stave can be replaced with 1 weapon from the melee weapons list. So the old Librarian, with weapon skill 2, it used to be good to throw the hammer on. The hammer's got a little bit of nerf now with the neg 2 instead of neg 3 AP, but otherwise it's not too bad. The warding stave's good. It depends if you want to take a relic on him. So you'll look at that, whatever you do with relics, depending what you want to do there. But this dude is not so much in the army to kick people's asses in combat. He's there for his psychic abilities, which we'll go over in just a sec. So this model can be equipped with one of the following: a Storm Bolter, or 1 weapon from the combi weapons list. Your combi weapons are a combi melter, plasma, and flamer. There's not a lot of assault weapons in this book, and taking the combi melter actually gives you an assault weapon if that's what you want. But yeah, I don't really care too much. I will put the Storm Bolter on him if I have extra points in the army and there's nothing else to do it with. But yes, I do actually like the Fury of Demios on him with the Storm Bolter, because that amplifies it significantly from a regular Storm Bolter. But there's actually cooler things to give him, so we'll go over them in just a sec. So his abilities are Knights of Titan and Teleport Strike. And he has a Crux Terminatus. This model has a 5+ invulnerable save. Now, he doesn't get the 4-up invulnerable, so keep that in mind. The stave could be useful if you needed. So Psychic Hood. Each time a Deny the Witch test has been taken for this model, if the unit attempting to manifest the psychic power is within 12 inches of this model, add 1 to that Deny the Witch test. So he gets to deny only 1 power. Alright, keep that in mind as well. So if you're within 18 inches, you can deny whatever you want. If you are within 12 inches of this Librarian, he will deny it a +1, and you'll also get +1 for being in Grey Knights if you haven't allied anyone in. So he'll get +2. So if he's up close and personal to something that's going to really mess with you, you definitely need to remember that. Alright? Otherwise, you'll probably rarely ever use it. Now, you've got a whole army of Psychers, so what is special about a Brotherhood Librarian? He has got this special rule here for the Psyker. So this model can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in your psychic phase. Now, there's not a lot of access to guys that can cast 2 powers without spending CP to cast extra, but this dude, if you want to cast extra on him, you can. It'll just be a CP to cast 3 powers. So that's the first part. He gets to cast 2. So outside of Drago and Boulders, that's it. And attempt to deny 1 psychic power, which we already went through. He knows Smite and 2 psychic powers from either the Dominus or the Sanctic disciplines. So either Dominus or Sanctic, and he can take either, because it's and or. So he can take 1 Dominus, 1 Sanctic if he wants. Now he's also got his Brotherhood power. So that's 4 psychic powers. Alright, now there's a few different builds that people can use. There's one popular one going around where people give him a warlord trait called Psychic Epitome. At the start of each of your psychic phases, select one friendly Grey Knight Psychic unit within 6 inches of this warlord. So pick himself. Until the end of that phase, each time a unit that manifests a Witchfire Psychic power, when resolving that Psychic power, if any enemy unit suffers any mortal wound, that enemy unit suffers 1 additional mortal wound. Okay? So there's quite a few different mortal wound dealing psychic powers. The first one is Smite, so we all know what Smite does. Now, in your Dominus discipline, you have Vortex of Dune, which is a Witchfire. It is a warp charge of 7, so it's pretty high. If manifested, select the closest enemy unit within 12 inches of and visible to this Psyker. Each other enemy unit within 3 inches of the selected unit suffers 1 mortal wound, okay? So you pick a unit, bang, anyone within 3 inches of that unit. So if you've got a big footprinted unit, anyone within 3 inches of anything in that footprint suffers 1 mortal wound. And then the selected unit suffers 2d3 mortal wounds. So minimum 2, maximum 6, or so they say. If the model manifesting this psychic power has the Psychic Epitome Warlord trait, only the unit you selected suffers the additional mortal wound from the trait and not those other enemy units within 3 inches of it. Okay? So, cool. So Vortex of Doom, you hit them, bang, it goes off, creates mortal wounds around the unit, and then the unit itself takes 2d3 mortal wounds. With the Psychic Epitome, it goes to 2d3 plus 1. So you're looking at possibly 7 from that. So that's the only Witchfire from Dominus, which is important to know, which I'll talk about soon. So in Sanctic, that we've got, what's it called? We've got Purifying Flame, okay? It's a Witchfire. Now it has a range of 9 inches and a warp charge of 5. So 9 inches is important to know too. So pick a unit within 9 inches, or sorry, closest enemy unit within 9 inches of the invisible to this Psyker, suffers 3 mortal wounds. If the result of the Psychic test was 11 plus, that unit suffers d3 plus 3 mortal wounds instead. Okay, now this is Sanctic, not Dominus, that'll be important. But you roll an 11 plus, okay? If you've got that brother captain giving the aura of +1 to casts, you're going to get that off possibly a little bit more than you realise. Even just getting 3 mortal wounds is decent, because you're getting 3 mortal wounds plus 1, so you're going to be doing 4 mortal wounds. If you go super purifying, it'll be 4 mortal wounds plus d3, so possible of another 7 right there. You've also got Purge Soul, which is a Witchfire. If manifested, select one enemy within 12 inches visible to this Psyker that has not already been selected for this power this phase, then roll 1d6. Add this to the Psyker's leadership. Now he's leadership of 9, so it's not too bad. Your opponent then rolls 1d6 and adds that unit's leadership characteristic to the result. So if your total's high, they suffer d3. If it's the same, it's 1. If it's less, then nothing happens. So you'll be doing 1 plus d3, or you'll be doing 2. Okay, not too bad, but obviously Purifying Flame and Vortex of Doom are better. Now, what Witchfire powers do we have in the Brotherhoods? That is a good question. Blessing, Malediction, Malediction, Malediction. Blessing, Blessing, Witchfire, Blessing. It is just the exactors. That's only going to be combat with them, so not fabulous. Not fabulous. Relics, I don't think there were any relics that do Witchfire powers. No, that's alright. Alright. So the other part of that ability that I was talking about, it is from the Gifts of the Prescient. The Gem of Inoktu. Once per battle, when the bearer is selected to manifest psychic powers, you can use this gift. If you do, then until the end of the phase, each time the bearer attempts to manifest a psychic power from the Dominus discipline, so not Sanctic, Add 2 to that attempt's psychic tests. Alright, so this will be for Vortex of Doom. Suddenly it goes from being 7 to needing a 5+. If you have the brother captain nearby popping his thing, it'll be a 4+. On a 4+ from 2d6, you do 2d3 plus 1 mortal wounds. Okay? That is worth it for that turn that you just need to kill shit. Okay? Alrighty. Now, another build that I've got for him, this is the hard to kill build. Alright? You take, from your powers, you can take anything you want, as long as you take one of those powers, which is Armored Resilience. Okay? So, Armored Resilience is a blessing. It has a warp charge value 6. It's manifested until the start of your next Psyche phase. Add 1 to the armor saving throws made for models in this Psyche's unit. Alright? So, the Librarian won't terminate armor. His saving throw goes to a 1+. Alright? You now take the Cuirass of Sacrifice. I hope I said that correctly. Infantry model only. Librarian's infantry, so he qualifies. Add 1 to armor saving throws made for the bearer. Each time the bearer would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. So he's now gone to a 0+ save with a 5+ feel no pain. What you then do is you go into Tide of Shadows. So you're in the tide that gives you cover. Now this Librarian suddenly goes from a 0+ save to a -1 armor save. Figure that out. Basically, AP -3, it's gonna just become a 3+ save for the Librarian. Yeah, he suddenly gets very durable. And then if something does get through, he's then got his 5+ feel no pain to protect him as well. It's one of those powers and those little shtick things you can do if you just want the Librarian to just jump into somewhere and hold objective. It also keeps him alive a lot longer, obviously. The other thing you could do to make him even more durable is you could take Servant of the Throne from the Gifts of the Prescient. Once per battle, when the bearer is selected as a target of attack, it can use this gift. If it does, then until the end of the turn, the bearer has a 3+ invulnerable save. So now he's got a -1+ save, a 3+ invulnerable, and a 5+ feel no pain. Oh yeah. I'm thinking about just doing this in a game just for fun. Fun for me, not for my opponent, obviously. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. So that's 2 little ways I think of running him will be cool. Now, you got the strats you can use to do 3d6 casting. You got range boosting ones. You got all sorts of cool stuff there. So the Librarian, like realistically, if you want to take 2, have one that's the mortal wound, and then you have the unkillable one. And then, good fun. Go to town. I want to hear stories. Make sure you comment in the description below. Thank you. So the Librarian can take a special relic called an Artisan Nullifier Matrix. The bearer gains the following ability. Artisan Nullifier Matrix is an aura. When a friendly Grey Knight Psyche unit is within 9 inches of this model, each time a Psyche test is taken for that unit, it does not suffer perils of the warp. Being an army that casts lots of Psyche powers, eventually you're going to roll 1 and 6. It happens. And it sucks. Like, you do have a 5+ feel no pain versus mortal wounds now. But taking that can just help soften the blow a bit as well. So I thought I should probably throw that in there, just in case. There are a couple of psychic power relics as well. The one of them's for the Ancient, so it doesn't really count. The other one's a Geo-Temporal Empowerment. In your psychic phase, the bearer can attempt to empower their allies. If this action is completed, successfully select one Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit within 3 inches of the bearer until the start of your next psychic phase. At the start of the fight phase, if the selected unit is within engagement range of any enemy units, you can fight first that phase. It's a psychic action, that's the only downside. I'm pretty sure you can only cast one psychic action a turn, so probably not the best dude to put it on. But Yardazan Nullify Matrix is definitely worth looking at as well. So cool. Alright, this time I'm going. Cheerio.